You've been hired. These are the words that you hope to hear. Your next stop after college is the professional workplace. In a job environment, there is no grace period. There are no second chances. There are no do-overs. There are certain protocols and expectations in the workplace that you folks will smack head on into, and it is a world that is not nearly as kind as the academic world. So, in this class, we are preparing you to operate within the rules and expectations of the work world. So please pay attention. I am the moral equivalent of your director of HR on your first day at work. So let's begin with the fact that we are treating this class as your workplace. And that means that we expect a certain level of professionalism out of you. We expect that you are going to treat each other and your professor respectfully, because that's how teams operate. There are also certain norms of behavior that are absolutely required in any workplace, such as showing up on time, staying for the duration of the workday, and making sure that you know what comes next in the day, in the week, and in the month. You will be serving a real client in this class. So there are human beings with business problems, people to lead, people to pay, and customers to make happy who are going to be relying on the quality of your work. This real client provides you with multiple opportunities to learn about how the workplace works, how the business world works, and how you operate in it. Please take advantage of those opportunities. And this real world client expects real world deliverables. So they're looking for something that has genuine thought behind it and that arrives in time to help them with a problem. An elegant solution that arrives after they've already had to implement a terrible solution because they ran out of time is absolutely useless to them. All right, let's move to our norms for face-to-face communication. One of these is that the use of phones in any kind of a business setting is seriously frowned on. You're there to work and they're paying you to work, and they do not expect you to be on your phone. We will practice that in this class. Therefore, there is zero tolerance of using your phone in class unless the professor has specifically instructed you to do that. Failing to heed this rule is grounds for dismissal, which in a classroom setting is going to look like a warning, and then ultimately involuntary withdrawal. In the work world, it simply looks like being fired. All right, please pay attention to distractions. The idea that you can do three things at once might be fun and cute, but does not work in the real world, and that has been proved clinically multiple times by professional psychologists. So we would appreciate it if you would keep side conversations to the minimum and take notes, pay attention, focus. Your boss is expecting focus, and we are in this class. Be cognizant of nonverbals. This is incredibly important in the business world. People pay attention to what you say, but unconsciously they pay more attention to how you say it, to your stance, the way you use eye contact, etc. So we want you to be aware of your nonverbal communication, because trust me, your customer will be. It is also very important that you actually participate. This is a communication class. You're not just here to learn by listening. You are here to learn by participating, and participation is literally half the class. Communication, which is not two-way, is like one hand clapping. Doesn't work. Finally, in the real world, you are going to be given absolutely no chance to stand in front of a customer and make a pitch with a computer. And if you read from a slide, you're going to get shot. So if you have to have hand notes, okay, but the expectation is when you're up presenting, you're doing it from memory, because that's the way you'll be pitching somebody in the real world. All right, let's talk about other forms of communication. When you receive an email, a timely response is expected by your boss and by your professor. Be concise. Business writing is terse and to the point. And remember that your professor has many classes with many students, and they will not necessarily know the context for your communication. A busy division head is going to say the same thing to you. So make sure that you provide a context for what it is that you need when you're communicating with email. This is a business communications class, which means that writing is a key part of it. We expect that all communications, including communications to your professor on class topics, will be professionally written. So form does matter here. You cannot tell a customer or a vendor that you are well educated and professional. They would laugh at you. But if they receive written communication that is well done, you send the signal that you know what you're doing. We expect you to send that signal by using form to express the fact that you are buttoned down, professional, and know what you're doing. If we do end up communicating with you by phone, a response is expected. Keep it short. Time is precious. And there are a number of ways that we might be communicating. All right, let's look at the workload. Very much the same way that it is at work, you will be given more work than you can possibly do. You need to understand that it is up to you to figure out how to organize the time that you have in your life to accomplish this workload. You need to look at what you can do, what you're not going to do, and accept a price for the fact that you can't do it all, because in the real world you can't do it all either. What I will guarantee you is this: if you expect that you're going to do it at the last minute, you are going to do very badly in this class, and you will do very badly in your workplace. You have to pace yourself, you have to plan, you have to be aware of what's happening in the future, and you have to start using your time efficiently in the beginning, not just expect that you're going to be able to wing it at the end. You won't. So it's very important that you actually look at the assignments, you plan your time, and you start allocating that time to this class up front, or you will never catch up. We provide quite a few toolkit items to help you be organized. One of the things we will also guarantee you is that if you do not read the instructions, you will miss the target. And that means an enormous amount of wasted effort doing something that could have been done well if you had simply read the instructions. The instructions are there in gory detail to make sure you don't miss the target, but they're only as good as the focus that you put on actually understanding them. And if you do not understand the instructions for a given assignment, it is critical that you ask the question of your professor at the beginning of your work on that assignment, not at the end. That doesn't work out very well. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, finally, let's just address the reward for all of the norms and protocols of behavior that we are expecting of you. The first reward is that we have configured 4 badges that you can upload to LinkedIn that are essentially certifications for skills that you have learned in this class. So you can upload a badge that says that you are certified from this class in being competent at business writing and potentially at business speaking, design thinking, and innovative practices. And these are things that employers will look for. Of course, there is also your course grade. You will be graded on your performance, not your effort. And trust me, in the real world, that's all your boss cares about. There will be opportunities for extra credit, but it would be a mistake to expect that that's going to save you from poor organization and last-minute work. Finally, just as you need to impress a boss if you want to get a raise or a promotion, you need to impress your professor if you want a letter of recommendation. And many of you in your life will be going on to graduate work or to job opportunities where a letter of recommendation is a requirement You need to be able to source people who will support you and write glowing letters of recommendation. People write good letters of recommendation for those that they remember. So one of the rewards for good work will be that your professor will remember you, and they will put their heart into writing a good letter of recommendation. But you can imagine the letter of recommendation that somebody is going to write for you if they were underwhelmed with your performance. All right, ladies and gentlemen, these are the norms and expectations for behavior in this class because they are the norms and expectation for behavior in the workplace. We wish you good luck and Godspeed.